what did we come here for? These soirees are for old people.
Good evening. May I?
Please, we're not discussing anything consequential.
You keep on worrying about yourselves. I intend to make the most of this evening.
See, I told you he was in love. Miss Scowan is out of your league, my friend.
To say nothing of her father.
Excuse me, do you mean Governor General Scowan's daughter?
Well, who else? The debutante of the season.
Have you just crawled out from under a rock?
Old Scowan and I are practically on first-name terms now. You'll see.
I'm sure.
So, one eye-catching girl has already got an admirer. What does that leave us, Maxime?
Not much. The dull, the silly, or, well, the old.
En parlant de Ligiashulska, she just passed this way.
Pigs will fly before someone fancies her.
She'd actually prefer Sophia Scowan, according to what I've heard. Well, what do you think?
My name is Viktor Szulski.
Well, there we have it.
And I don't like what I just heard, especially about my sister.
And, what are you going to do about it?
Pardon me, gentlemen. I promised that I would be well behaved tonight.
Lunatic.
Well, well, someone new.
Good evening.
Good evening, Viktor Szulski.
Irina Orlova of those Orlovs. This is Natalia Obolenskaya, and this strangely quiet soul is our delightful Sofia Scowan.
Irina is exaggerating. Nice to meet you, Mr. Szulski.
The Governor General's daughter herself. How do you do?
What can you tell us?
How are you enjoying yourselves?
We can't complain. Seeing as we're debutantes, we're getting a lot of attention.
Really?
Maybe you'll tell us something about yourself.
I suspect you want to hear more about the book.
We've never met a thaumaturgist before. To tell the truth, I didn't believe they existed.
A thaumaturge. Don't worry. But now you do.
Well, it depends on what kind of trick you show us, Mr. Szulski.
I need to slip away for a moment.
Oh no, what a shame.
Mr. Szulski?
I didn't expect to see you here, of all places.
You don't know how very flattering that is. And what brings you to the Imperial?
The cream of Warsaw society is here, so I thought it would be worth showing my face.
With a name like yours, I'm sure you fit right in. After all, someone must have invited you.
The friend of a friend of a friend is throwing this party, so you might say I know the hostess.
Rumiantseva herself? Look at you.
And who invited you?
The friend of a friend of a friend. What are you hoping for this evening?
Who knows? Maybe I'm keeping an eye out for the future Mrs. Szulska.
Best of luck. You'll need it, since Ligia ended up with the entire inheritance.
How do you know all these things?
People talk, I listen. That's all.
And what are you doing here, Mr. Konieczkin?
I'm passing the time.
Ah, curious hobby.
I'm simply interested in people.
A doctor, thaumaturge, or policeman could say the same.
Your interest flatters me. Who knows? Maybe the apple hasn't fallen far from the tree, and someday we'll even be friends.
How well did you know my tree?
We enjoyed talking and lending one another a hand.
If I may, there's one question niggling at me. How did you get so many scars?
Why do you ask?
I've heard that Russian officers in training have drunken duels with sabers after hours.
No. A very peculiar custom, if that's true.
So where did those scars come from?
I've led an interesting life.
Who did you say you were to my father?
A trusted acquaintance. I supported him with good advice. Though truth be told, he rarely needed it. Your father had a gift for making good decisions.
Which of my father's decisions would those be?
Ones that were good for your family. Perhaps we'll have the chance to return to this another time. Goodbye, Mr. Szulski.
Yes, I'm sure. Here you are.
Gentlemen, meet my brother.
Viktor Szulski.
The last Szulski to wear trousers. You don't know that. Miss Ligia could yet produce an heir to the fortune.
Maybe even with me, if she doesn't tell my wife.
But let's talk like men. You intend to take over your father's company, correct?
First, I suggest you mind your own business. Your marriage, for instance. Perhaps Louisa isn't the ninny you take her for.
I beg your pardon?
Hasn't it occurred to you that when you leave her at home, she might also take advantage of her solitude.
What are you suggesting?
You've got a cuckold's horns. Was I being too subtle?
I suppose it's true what they say about you.
Yes? What's that?
You've lost your mind.
I've had some problems, it's true. But I'm better now. Maybe that's why I don't peek into people's undergarments.
Good luck with your business, miss.
I almost feel sorry for them.
Have I crossed the line?
Nonsense. Any progress with Svetlana?
Sofia Skawan, the Governor General's daughter. Do you know her?
No, and I don't suggest you make her acquaintance either. Skawon can't stand thaumaturges.
Guess who I ran into again? All mysterious and carved up.
Ivan Konieczkin?
What do you know about him?
Not much. He was an acquaintance of Papa's. Well, in theory, it's thanks to him that we're here.
What? Ligia?
I know that nothing comes for free, but he really didn't want anything.
Yeah, he looks like a real altruist. You enjoying yourself in this viper's den?
The vodka is quite tolerable. I'm observing my own brother taking out his anger on ordinary mortals.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm going. Thaumaturge never fails me. There is something here.
Maybe that's enough. What do you want?
The trick with entering someone's head. I know one person who can do that.
You're not much of a thaumaturge if you can't. You come here to torment me, unmask me.
I don't see any fun in unmasking you.
So what do you want?
I noticed a wild salutor here. I understand your being here has something to do with him in particular.
Keep your nose out of this.
Why?
Because I'm warning you.
That's not such a ladylike tone, madame. Maybe we should just let the best one catch that salutor.
You mean yourself?
What do you know about this salutor? Do you know its name?
Don't you?
A name doesn't tell us much anyway. All that matters is picking out the person in this crowd with the flaw.
I know perfectly well who carries the flaw. Another reason for you to stay out of it.
The person with the flaw attended the seance, right? I'm on the right track.
Have you finished?
So, should we finish up?
That would be best. And listen to me carefully, Mr. Whatever your name is.
Shulski, but you can call me Victor.
Now, Mr. Shulski, you will vanish like a bad dream, and I will get back to work.
And the general says to him, "Tell us something funny." Then Bautski replies, "General, why don't you shoot a cannon first?"
That's a good one. I'll have to tell it tomorrow at the Orloffs. Who might this be joining our conversation?
You know, sir, your face looks familiar to me.
My name is Viktor Shulski.
Ah, yes, I can see something in your eyes. I was sorry to hear about your father.
I'll see you next time, darling. Wonderful party. See you there.
I think I've offended the creme de la creme of Warsaw.
This is hardly the creme de la creme. How do you find my soirée?
I admit I'm getting reacquainted with the social scene.
You spent a long time traveling, didn't you?
15 years. Over that time, I got used to harsher surroundings.
Believe me, drawing rooms can be just as dangerous as untamed steppes. You've met Anastasia and Marina. What about the others?
How is it, being part of the Tsar's court?
It is a blessing and a curse. Forgive me if I do not elaborate.
I've already met several distinguished guests. Madame Samira definitely stands out.
She is exceptional, isn't she? Her presence is the crowning glory of the evening. Has anyone else caught your eye?
Ivan Konieczkin, for instance. Apparently, he knew my father.
How remarkable. I wasn't aware. Konieczkin is something of a secretive person. And have you yet had occasion to meet the debutants of this season?
I'll be sure to seek them out.
This evening, Sofia Skowan herself is to grace us with her presence.
Well, well.
I suggest you move quickly. The competition is fierce.
The crux of the matter is that I'm here because of my father. You knew him.
That doesn't sound like a question. Of course, I was his customer. I truly am sorry for you, both of you. The death of someone close is always a dreadful blow. Please accept my condolences.
Svetlana Petrovna, I must insist. Can you tell me something more about my father?
Mr. Shulski, I assure you we have the most delectable vodka. Besides that, I warmly encourage you to join Madame Samira's séance. It will be an unforgettable experience. I wonder, is that truly everything our soirée can offer you?
I've got no choice but to suffer through tonight.
No need to mince words.
I felt something. Where is it? I was looking for you.
Do you smoke, Mr. Shulsky?
I've quit.
In light of our approaching conversation, why don't we dispense with the pleasantries? Call me Svetlana.
Victor.
Ask.
The burned note. Who sent it? I only sensed underhanded kindness.
Da, the Ochrana. I don't know which one of them exactly, if that's what you're asking. I've worked hard at it.
When did you receive this note?
A few weeks ago, back before your father.
I see. You two had an affair.
Two grown-up, lonely people found momentary comfort in each other's arms. But romance wasn't behind that relationship. It was just that we were both looking in the same direction.
What do you mean by looking in the same direction? That large travel chest. You changed your mind
About whether or not to pack. Right then, I wanted to escape badly, but that would have had its own consequences. In this game of false appearances, I'm the best.
I still don't know how this lovely note ended up in your hands. But in addition, I found a lovely strings of pearls, and on it, your feelings of guilt.
Your power is terrifying. Do you know that?
Tsarina Alexandra gave you those pearls. You two are close.
I am her confidant. I could call her my friend. I see how much she devotes to her family and the nation.
Yet something has changed. Your feelings of guilt. Do they have something to do with Tsarina Alexandra?
With the whole empire, Ruski mir im podawaj. We, the establishment, perceive the need for change. We want reform. The Colossus is already teetering, but if it falls... La guillotine, mon chéri. But I want to live, Victor. Ideally, closer to the west.
Where was my father in all this?
Willingly or otherwise, he was part of the establishment that wanted change and could see revolution before it arrived.
The Ochrana knew about you, hence the note.
They must have noticed something. Isn't it time you told me why you really came to my soirée?
Do you think the Ochrana killed my father?
Your father was crushed by a building. I don't think that's how the Ochrana works.
Perhaps you're right. What do you intend to do now?
Nothing. The soirées will continue. Society has come to expect it. Everything will stay the same. I myself shall manage.
I hoped you might know something about the Black Grimoire. My father left it to me in his will, but the grimoire has gone missing.
No. And the collapsed building? Have you been there?
There's nothing there.
My dear boy, I know nothing about Stanisław's book. I'm sorry, but I can't help you there. But I will not let you leave empty-handed. I strongly believe that there's one place you ought to visit. What you find there belongs to you.
Thank you.
No, thank you for listening.
I know you. I remember you from books. What's your name? Don't run away.
Splendid ladies, distinguished gentlemen, the hour is at hand. With lights dimmed and the curtains drawn, the souls of the dead slowly gather among us. On their command, I will give the chosen among you a tarot card as your invitation to the table.
For you, sir?
Fool. Our dear madame is fooling around and thinks you can scare me off. I'm done wasting time on this.
Let us gather in secret ritual. Let's not keep the souls waiting too long. Let us also make every effort together not to spoil their visit.
Mr. Shulsky, may I have a word?
How can I help?
My friends and I are just playing Truth Order, and now it's my turn. Won't you dazzle me with your powers?
Your father would not be thrilled about you playing games with the Thaumaturge.
Maybe that's precisely the point. To keep violating his wishes?
First, please tell me the rules of this game.
Of course, I'm being silly. After all, you've been away a long time. It's simple. Each player in turn must admit a truth or accept a dare. Anyone who doesn't must drop out of the game and thereby loses. And I don't like to lose.
I would guess that to you, a dare would be the lesser of two evils.
How very perceptive. It involves finding out my comrades' secrets. Irina, Maxim, or Sergei. The trick is that you're cleverer at it than I am.
I accept.
I knew you wouldn't let me down.
Let me see what I can find. Will any secret do?
Any. I'll wait anxiously for your return.
I'll take a look around.
you're getting impatient. What have you found out?
Miss Irina would like to get to know Maxim better, but she keeps hesitating.
What? She never told me. Some friend she is. And what does our dear Maxim think of that?
Maxim only has one thing on his mind. Miss Irina.
Oh, I knew it!
Oh, I was wondering where you'd gone off to.
You know Sergei, don't you?
We're already acquainted.
Mr. Shulsky and I have completed my extra difficult dare together.
At your service.
Now time for truth. Are you seeing anyone?
My heart is already taken.
I was counting on a different response.
Mr. Shulsky, our time is up. Sofia and I must leave for the seance. Madame is waiting.
Thank you once more.
See you. Therefore, the Saliter chased Sofia Scowen and her floor here. She seemed like such an innocent girl, didn't she? It's no coincidence she focused on me. After all, old Scowen hates thaumaturges. The little scamp. If I want to discern that little schemer's flaw, I'll have to join that sepulchral table. Either her scheming or her jealous knight in shining armor will help me identify her flaw. I hope her father doesn't find out. Is this seat free?
The energy is dissipating. Ladies and gentlemen, I am losing contact with these souls.
Well, it was the souls that chose me after all.
It's true. The gentleman has a card.
Let us lay our hands on the table. Let us allow our minds to liberate themselves from our bodies toward the edges of the world as you know it.
Are you thinking of someone exceptional whom you wish to summon?
That's exactly the sort of person I had in mind.
Oh, is it a long-lost love?
Rather a future delightful acquaintance.
Leave her alone.
Sergei, this has nothing to do with you.
Dear guests, I implore you, the souls!
Is that jealousy I hear?
Stand here, right now!
I accept the challenge right now.
Focus on someone you want to make contact with.
Would a duel make you happy, miss? Between this poor man and me?
Are you all going to fight now?
Choose a location.
A duel over me would be truly beyond exciting.
Yes, I think so too.
Don't you dare! You were supposed to stay away. I was supposed to leave here with Velis. All that work for nothing.
Spare yourself the trouble. It was a fair fight.
But I don't intend to hold you here. Truth be told, I even feel sorry for you.
What does that mean?
Rid yourself of the pride you've got within. Otherwise, it will lead you to the gallows.
Enough of this. There's a salad waiting for me.
Enjoy him, fool.
Rasputin sees you, then you'll stop fighting me.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, this evening the souls were particularly restless.
The souls have now told me everything I needed to hear.
And you, sir, what can you tell us?
Sergei, please wait a moment.
Mr. Shulsky, there are only so many humiliations a gentleman can tolerate. I have reached my limit. Congratulations to you both.
I can see I won't convince you. I have to explain myself. It was me who provoked the whole situation. Sergei didn't have anything to do with it.
But what was all this for?
What's going on here? The guests are complaining, and with good cause, I see. We're terminating this disaster.
One moment. First, Mr. Shulsky will explain himself.
For my own, freely chosen reasons. I was looking for something here, and I found it. I regret that it was at someone else's expense.
Enough wistful chatter. Will the gentleman with a book be leaving peacefully, or should we show him out?
No need, I can make it to the door. Madame, honored guests.
Victor, don't scare me like that.
Mr. Shulsky, are you all right?
I think it's time for us to go.
I'll snug us a carriage.
You'll have a hard time at this hour. I'll drop you off.
See, you can always count on Mr. Konieczkin.
Victor. Thank you. That's very polite. Thank you for an interesting evening.
I'm sorry it all turned out like this.
Not tonight, please.
Ligia. Good night. Where's Grażyna when I need her?
Get a steak for when your life is at stake. Make any vampire quickly retire. An aspen steak for you, sir? Premium wood, carved at midnight on the solstice. They're cheap.
Vampires? I don't think so.
What do you mean? The dead rising at the cemetery? They must be vampires.
Vampires are salutors attracted by blood and sizzling passion. There's nothing interesting for them among the dead.
It's what people believe that matters.
The steaks are exquisite, I must admit. What else do you sell?
Holy icons, miraculous Marys, salt.
Table salt?
Consecrated, but the steaks, I tell you, sir, ever since they buried the magician, they've been selling like hotcakes. Anyone with some sense buys them.
Do you believe in all of this?
I believe in money. And if people are willing to buy a stick out of fear, then who am I to argue?
This buried magician, is it Shulsky?
I think so. It makes no difference to me what his name was.
For him, stakes are not enough. We need to call the Pope.
Don't tell anyone or I'll lose my livelihood.
Goodbye. I hope the vampires don't take revenge on you.
They have no interest in me. I'm anemic. Please, tell your friends. On Wednesdays, I sell 4 steaks for the price of 2.
What is this foolishness? Open this gate!
Right. No one can keep us from entering the cemetery. It's a free country. Well, how long are you going to keep wagging your chins? If it's closed, it's closed! Oh, Mr. Shulsky, finally.
I read your message. What is it about?
I won't talk about it out here in front of these boors. Come inside.
You're letting him in, Gravedigger? What the hell is going on?
Shut your mouths or I won't open till Judgment Day. This is about your father, you know.
All right, let's see what this is about.
Bah!
What did my father do this time?
I've got 2 pieces of news, so to speak. There's bad news, and I'm not sure what the other one is. Which do you want to hear first?
Tell me the bad news.
Today some rebel-rousers came here and started making trouble. They ravaged your family tomb.
What do you mean, ravaged?
I couldn't believe it either. I sent you a note immediately.
What about the other news?
One night, I went out and saw the dead lying around. But not in their places, you know? In the pathways. And then I saw their graves dug up, as if the dead crept right out of the ground.
And these bodies are still lying here?
No, of course not. You can't do that. But if you want to learn more about the case, they might come out again tomorrow night. People are starting to talk about resurrections and the end of the world. Resurrections and now these maniacs! Judgment Day seems to be upon us, you know?
Those vandals that ravaged the tomb, what did they look like?
I closed the gate because they're still hanging around there. Why don't you see for yourself, you know?
According to my knowledge, dead bodies don't rise on their own. Were there any witnesses? Any noise at night? Traces?
Nothing. Just the stiffs in odd places.
Goodbye.
Get rid of this scum at once.
Darn it. Look at him.
I think he's a real, you know, temperamencer.
I'll show you how you talk to magicians. Are you so eager to die, Tempermancer?
And who are you, anyway?
We're the ones who purge the world from scum like you.
I'm a bit sorry now, but I think you will be too, in a moment.
You heard him. He asked for it. Oh, darn it. Look at him.
I think he's a real, you know, temperamencer.
I'll show you how you talk to magician. Are you so...
And who are you?
We're the ones...
I'm a bit sorry, but I think you...
You heard him.
So, Mr. Shulsky.
It's a rather grim job you've got here.
Well, you know. I'd rather do this than struggle with drunkards in a bar or bolts in a factory. The dead are calm, And predictable, you know? Unless they start rising from the grave, that is.
Goodbye.
Get rid of this scum at once.